Let's wish all our viewers a very happy new year.
Absolutely, indeed. A big happy new year to all of our viewers. But just to get you some more details on that Supreme Court judgment is that the Supreme Court has upheld the decision of the central government taken in 2016 to demonetize the currency notes of 500 and 1,000 rupee denomination. Remember, there were a batch of petitions that a five-judge Supreme Court Constitution bench was hearing. We are getting some observations coming in from that particular case. And if you look at it, Justice Gawai has said that it is not relevant whether the objective was achieved or not. This is while actually stating that this particular move was valid by the government. But Shrishti, the entire spotlight right now, given the fact that we have entered a brand new year, but apart from that, we've entered a brand new month and autos will be in focus, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely. But let's first highlight what the December auto sales data for all these major OEMs were, and going ahead, what the kind of commentary we are getting from all these major companies. Firstly, let's focus on the showstopper. Clearly, the commercial vehicle segment was the showstopper in December this time around. All the companies majorly have reported numbers which were actually better than expectations. We did highlight in our preview that the improved fleet utilization is something that the industry is experiencing. The demand is once again on the uptick. And if you can see, all these outperformers, especially from the likes of Ashok Leyland, the numbers clocked in were more than 18,000 of units versus our expectation of just 14,000. Even Tata Motors and Eicher Motors, we did outperform our expectation by a marginal jump, by a huge jump rather. So this was about the commercial vehicle segment. But coming to the passenger vehicle segment, whole throughout in 2022, we have seen a stellar sales number from this particular segment. So this time around in December, the sales were quite steady. But what the companies are still highlighting is that the semiconductor is once again impacting them. So not a great show, I would say, on the passenger vehicle front. But yes, the outperformer in this particular segment was definitely M&M, and Tata Motors a record sales for the EV segment indeed. Coming to the two-wheeler segment, here what we are seeing that the domestic sales is holding up strong, but the exports once again continue to hamper the sales growth of some company like Bajaj Auto with a decline of 39% on a YOY basis in the export sales data. The company have reported. We'll watch out for TVS Motors numbers yet to be reported. And lastly, from the tractor segment, we are picking up that the rural sales and sentiment is upbeat, and going ahead, even the companies are highlighting that they are hopeful of a good sales data continuing ahead, and M&M definitely has outperformed our expectation, clocking a sales unit of 23,000 of units and above. And Escort's show was also decent, inline set of numbers, I would say, but the commentary is definitely on the positive side for all of these companies. So that was quite a roundup, but from the auto sales data, we can clearly see the reaction. Like in Bajaj Auto, I mentioned one of the top losers of Nifty 50 today.
Absolutely. So auto companies continue to be in the spotlight on back of the December sales numbers and also the prospects going ahead. But what are the experts' opinion coming in on the auto sector? Let's bring on board Aditya Agarwala as well as Shahina Mukaddam on the show. Very good morning to you, Aditya, as well as Shahina. And also, firstly, a very happy new year to both of you all. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now this morning. And Shahina, coming to you, what's your take on the entire auto pack, given the fact that, yes, monthly sales numbers is one way to look at it, but fundamentally, do you think that the auto pack warrants and is worth an investment?
To start with, Happy New Year to you and all your viewers from me. See, auto numbers have been, in my view, a slightly mixed bag. The most negative impact, let's start with that, is basically on the export front. So large exporters, like for example, Bajaj Auto, where exports contribute more than 55% of revenues or volumes, that is where, those are the type of companies which have taken the biggest hit. Even the other exporting companies have reported flat to marginal decline, more or less stagnant sales at best. So this has been the major negative which has impacted, the auto companies, the two-wheelers especially. Also, in fact, four-wheelers, we have had Tata Motors, which has been affected by their international sales. Domestic, they have done well. So all in all, I think the international market continues to look a bit weakish, and that is going to continue to keep these stocks and these company volumes under pressure even over the next, say, second half. In the domestic market, we've seen a decent pickup in sales. And though we have had some issue with slightly higher raw material costs, which have continued to impact the second, the December quarter, but going forward, this should ease out. So I think in the domestic market, and especially companies which are domestically oriented, are likely to do very well over the second half. My top pick in this sector would, of course, be Ashok Leyland, which reported very, very, very strong numbers for the month of December. And I think even over the next second half, numbers should continue to look strong. They have done well across all segments. For example, buses, they have done well. They have good growth. CVs has done exceptionally well. You've seen raw material costs actually starting to dip. I think this will give a positive, I would say, view on even their profitability going forward. So, like for example, if you're discussing Ashok Leyland, which is my top pick, last year was a terrible year for them, especially the December quarter. So as we go into the numbers for the quarter, I think on a YOY basis also the numbers will start looking good. Technically also the stock looks good. So that would be my top pick. If you want to go and buy in dips over the next couple of months, I think Bajaj Auto would be a decent bet as we see the numbers stabilizing. So these would be my top two picks, one in the four-wheelers and one in the two-wheelers.
Okay, so domestic companies are preferred more rather than the export plays, but going ahead in medium to long term, Bajaj Auto will be the preferred pick for Shahina, and other than that, Ashok Leyland is something that she's liking at this point in time. But coming to you, Aditya, very good morning and a happy new year. Anything that is making onto the charts from the auto pack, because we have seen a stellar move in 2022 from the companies like M&M and TVS Motors, going ahead in 2023 and keeping auto sales data in view, which will be your top bet?
Good morning, Srishti and Cheryl, and Happy New Year to both of you and all the viewers of ET Now. Definitely, 2020 was a stellar year for all the auto ancillaries, and going by the charts that I see now, there are a couple of stocks which actually stand out. The first one is an auto ancillary, which is Samvardhana Motherson. If you clearly take a look at the chart on your screen, stock underwent a massive correction, in fact, in 2020, and now looks like it's on the verge of a breakout from a falling wedge pattern, and it has completed its 5-wave downward correction. So clearly, stock is now breaking out from a falling wedge pattern, offers a good risk to reward ratio at current levels. On the downside, 67 to 68 is a very good support zone. And I believe stock is good to go to levels of 82 to about 85 on the upside in the near term. And if somebody holds on to it for a longer duration, maybe stock can test levels of 90 and beyond. So at current levels, Samvardhana Motherson is something that is looking very attractive on the charts after a decent correction. Stock has broken out on good volumes. I see a positive divergence on the RSI as well on a high time frame charts. So overall, the charts do suggest that the immediate bottom is in place for the stock, and at current levels, putting a stop loss closer to about 67, 68, one should clearly add the stock in the portfolio and look for a target of 82 to 85. That will be the first target, and if it crosses that, maybe 90 beyond is something that I'm looking at.
Okay, Samvardhana Motherson, the stock which was actually down 50% in 2022. Now Aditya seems to be betting on this one and feels that the bottom is already in place. So those were the top picks by our experts from the auto pack on the back of the auto sales data for December. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back and taking up your stock queries, so stay tuned.
दबा यार से लो।
With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Now, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Now, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Now, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, After 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now, and we have our experts today, Aditya Agarwala as well as Shahina Muqaddam. And let me once again wish all of our viewers a very happy New Year. And Shahina, in this new year, what should our retail investors do to make sure that their wealth is protected?
I would advise, be a bit cautious, at least in the first 3 to 4 months of this year, basically the remaining part of this year, because the overall sentiment does look to be a bit iffish. You can use any declines to actually add on to decent stocks or good stocks, which you could then hold for the longer term. So my advice would be to do a selective stock picking, buy it at dips, buy it when the market, gives you a good opportunity to enter over the next couple of months. And, some of the sectors which are likely to do well because of, let us say, commodity prices coming off, rural demand picking up. So I think these are the sort of sectors one can play on, the domestic, the domestic play, as well as some of the stocks that will likely see a better EBITDA margin going forward because of declining costs. So some of my top picks for the year, which I would be picking up at any dips, would be something like, if you're looking at domestic play, ITC, which gives you a good opportunity to both, play on the rural as well as on the FMCG space. In the autos, like we discussed, Ashok Leyland looks pretty healthy in terms of both volumes as well as numbers going forward. Banking, I think if we have some of the banks, especially the private sector banks, if they show any dips over the next couple of months, this would be an opportunity to pick up because they've really performed very well over the last 1 odd year. So any dip, like something like an ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, so you can actually use the next couple of months to build your portfolio.
So you can actually take the next couple of months to build your portfolio, and which are the sectors that you should be looking out for. That's the advice you got from our expert. But let's move on and kickstart taking all your stock related queries onto the show. And let me take the first query from Deepan. And Aditya, his query is in one of the auto names as well. He is holding Tube Investments at a price of 2,971 rupees. Although in 2022 the stock already have seen a stellar move upwards, but Deepan is still at loss. So he wants to know, is this should he continue to hold on to this counter or sell at these levels and move on?
I believe, Shrishti, it will depend on the time horizon that Deepan has. If it's very short term, then I don't see any immediate upside on the stock. But however, if it's a medium term to long term investor, you should definitely hold on to the stock. As you mentioned, it has been one of the top performers last year, and I believe it is likely to continue going ahead. On the upside, stock can easily test levels of 3,100 about 3,200. So I don't see any reason to panic. Just a minor consolidation, I would say, going on in the stock at the moment. So if it has a medium to long term time horizon, definitely hold on to the stock. On the downside, 2,650 to 2,700 should be a good support area.
Shahina, Nino wants to know about Tech Mahindra. He's holding about 100 shares of Tech Mahindra at 1,300 rupees per share. He wants to know if it's okay to average Tech Mahindra at current levels because he's intending to hold the stock for the next 5 years.
Well, I would look at lower levels to average on Tech Mahindra. The overall tech sector is not really that much in favor. We are seeing slowdown in growth. If he wants to average, he can do that. But at lower levels, I would say somewhere close to about 900, 950 would be better levels to average, not now.
Okay, Shahina, the next query is from Satya Veni. He is holding HDFC Life shares from a price of 730. Currently at a loss, so he wants to know, is this a good time to average out this counter? Please advise.
Well, again, HDFC Life, I would prefer waiting for slightly lower levels to average. It would be better if we can average closer to about 500, 525 type of levels.
Okay, Santi wants to know about Shyam Metallics. He already is holding about 92 shares at a price of 316 rupees per share. NMDC about 1,000 odd shares, 1,300 odd shares at a price about 134 rupees per share. He wants to know about short to medium term targets for these counters. Aditya, I'm unsure if you will have a target for Shyam Metallics given it's a recently listed counter, but nevertheless, do you have targets for both of them for the short to medium term?
Unfortunately, I don't track Shyam Metallics, and NMDC is something which definitely is a stock to hold on to. In fact, the entire metal pack is something one should definitely look at, and I believe there is good upside in these metal names, and NMDC at current levels still looks attractive. On the upside, can easily test levels of 137 to about 150. On the downside, it has a good strong support closer to about 115. So if somebody's looking to buy more, definitely these are levels one can add on to NMDC and hold on to it. I believe there is decent upside here still left.
Okay, moving on, Shahina, the next question is from Prabhu. He's at a more than 50% loss on his investment in Nazara Technologies. He averaged this counter and the average price is 1,300. So he wants to know now if the stock is currently at 550 odd level. So is this a good time to average out once again? And any hopes on recovery in 2023?
Well, I would not advise averaging out even at current levels. I mean, all the stocks in terms of the platform stocks have corrected internationally as well as domestically. And I don't see any recovery in the next couple of months. So I think he should just wait. Don't average now. In fact, I would suggest he exit part of his portfolio in Nazara.
Okay, this one is coming from TP Vinod, and Aditya, he wants to know your view on CE Info Systems, that's MapMy India. He's holding about 130 shares at a price of 1,275 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should average now or book loss on the rise. Also, he wants to know whether it makes sense to accumulate this stock.
Not really, Cheryl. Stock is right now looking sideways to about a little bit of a corrective phase. MapMy India, after a good up move, has now gotten into a consolidation to a corrective phase. In fact, I would wait it out for the correction or maybe the sideways consolidation to get over. Then maybe look at it. Wouldn't advise him to exit, but at current level, just hold on to it. Wait it out till the stock actually resumes its uptrend, then average it out.
All right, so that's the view coming in on MapMy India, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will continue taking your queries. So we'll slip into a break right now.
Make your dreams come true.
Sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predict.
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now. Let's take a look what the markets are up to. At one point of time, Bank Nifty was holding a gains of around over 300 points, now drifting lower from today's highest point and holding a gains of around 250 points or so. When talking about Nifty 50, so still holding above 18,150 odd levels with a gains of around 73%. And Metal Pack is definitely onto the roll today. Tata Steel, Hindalco are some of the top gainers of Nifty 50 today. So that was about the markets, but let's come back to your queries section. And Shahina, coming to you, the next one is from Subrata Ghosh. He's been watching you for the last 15 years and wants your outlook on Cafe Coffee Day. He's holding 20,000 quantity from a price of 40 rupees currently at some of the profits. What to do in this one?
Thank you very much, Subrato, for your kind comments. Yeah, it's been a long career and very fruitful and exciting one at that. CCD, of course, having gone through all the difficult phase that it did in the last couple of years with its promoter change, I think the stock is bottoming out. So though he's holding a large quantity, I would suggest that he continues holding, and I believe there is an upside from here going forward. So please hold it.
All right, this one is coming in from Muthu Palani and wants to know about Neogen Chemicals. He's saying that he has invested in this for the long term, say around 2 to 3 years is the time horizon that he's looked to be invested in this counter. But he's saying right now the stock is down about 7% from his holding value. So he should average right now. What's your take on this one, Shahina? Neogen Chemicals?
Sorry, Neogen Chemicals I don't really track. It's a small cap company.
Okay. By any chance, Aditya, you've had a look at the charts of this company?
I have just taken a look at it. It looks like a bit of a correction is still due in the stock. So you should wait it out before averaging it out. Maybe closer to about 1150 is where immediate supports are. That would be a good level to average it out. On the upside, 1300 is an immediate hurdle. Until unless it starts to trade above 1300, I don't see any big upside in the stock.
Okay, Shahina, the next query is from Mayank. He has bought 80 shares of Havel at a price of 1240 rupees. Currently at a loss, wants to know in the next 6 months, is there any hope on recovery or should he sell out this counter and look out for other opportunities?
Well, for the shorter term, you could see some bit of a dip, but I think overall consumer demand is picking up, for his products. So I would continue holding. I would keep a stop loss of 1000 rupees and continue holding it for the medium to longer term.
Ajay wants to know what's the view on real estate sector, Shahina, for 1 to 2 year time horizon. And he's asking if Godrej Properties is worth a buy at current market price.
Yeah, Godrej Properties has been one of the weak performers in the overall realty sector, which actually has given decent performance. I would be buying the stock, but buy it at dips over the next couple of months. I think the sector is picking up. Raw material prices are coming off, so you can buy, but please buy it in phases over the next couple of months.
Shahina, the next query is from Hemant. He's holding 2 counters and a loss of 10 to 15% in both of them. Firstly is ABFRL and the second one is Polyplex. His time horizon is for the next 2 to 3 years. He wants to know, are these good bets to hold on and what could be the likely price to average out? Shahina, this question is for you.
Okay, yeah. So ABR, the Aditya Birla Finance, he can continue holding if he's holding it for the long term. He can hold it with a stop loss of close to about 255. It's like decent stop loss from here, and then he can hold it for a target of close to of about 340. The other 2 stocks were, sorry, I didn't get it.
And another counter, that is Polyplex at a loss of 16%. What will be the advice?
Polyplex, he can actually, if he likes, he can exit from the counter because I see that the counter can, the stock can give you a slightly lower level from here on. I would see stock price of about 1500 from here. So if he's holding it, he should keep that as a stop loss.
Jaykrishnan is asking for about Coforge. Already has some shares at a price of 4,105 rupees per share. Was planning to hold on for the medium term, but wants to know whether should look to average right now. What other strategy should Jaykrishnan adopt for Coforge?
I believe he should continue to hold on to the stock. Has a decent upside. So most of these IT stocks have undergone a decent correction. It's time to look at these stocks and maybe can average it out at current levels as well. On the downside, 3750 is a good strong support area. And I wouldn't be surprised if these stocks start to make an up move this month, maybe this year as well. So the entire IT pack is something which one should start looking at. Coforge will be one of the stocks to look at within the IT pack.
Shahina, the next question is from Santosh. He wants to know, is this a right time to accumulate Delta Corp?
Delta Corp, I would suggest that he waits for some time before he starts accumulating. In the shorter term, the stock looks like it will consolidate because of certain changes that are happening in the tax policies, uncertainty over there. He can look to buy an average closer to about 190, 195 type of levels, not right away.
Okay, this one also is for you, Shahina. Akash Mathur has written to us, wants to know whether IDFC First Bank and Apollo Hospitals are worth a buy at current market price, but the time horizon is 2 to 3 years. Either IDFC First Bank or Apollo Hospital, your views?
Both the stocks look decent for buys at current levels. I think IDFC First Bank looks pretty strong, and I would say that the stock can give you another 15 rupees up from even the current levels. So I could be buying it currently with the target of about 75. And Apollo Hospitals also looks good. You can take any opportunity over the next couple of months to add.
Okay, Ashish, the next question is from Aditya. The next question is from Smita, and she wants to know that is this a good time to add on to Federal Bank? She's already holding this counter from a levels of 69. What will be your advice?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, congratulations to her for buying at such a good level, and she's making decent money on Federal Bank. And I believe this is one of the stocks which will be the top bets within the small banks, and I believe it's good level to average it out if she wants. In fact, everybody should take cue from this. You should average at a higher level if you're making decent profits, because the cost of average still will remain at a much lower price. So on the upside, stock can definitely test levels of 155 to 160 in the medium to longer term, and these are still good levels to latch on to Federal Bank, or maybe on any dip. She should definitely look at averaging it out on Federal Bank.
Manish, let me club two of the queries actually, because mostly all of them are on metals names. So one is from Manish Raju. Aditya, he wants to know if you recommend buying Tata Steel, Hindalco and Nava for the short term, and what sort of levels would you recommend? And also Narsimha Murthy also wants to know whether it makes sense to buy Hind Copper and Vedanta since copper is on up move. For Manish Raju, either three or from these three, that's Tata Steel, Hindalco and Nava, which one would you recommend that he buys at what levels? And for Mr. Narsimha Murthy, Hind Copper or Vedanta makes sense right now?
I'll stick to Tata Steel, which definitely looks very attractive on the charts. In fact, today's up move is very strong and backed by good volumes. And within the metal pack, it has not performed at all. So I believe it's time to look at Tata Steel at current levels, accumulate, put a stop loss closer to about 115 on the upside. In the near term, stock can test levels of 130, and if it sustains beyond 130, I wouldn't be surprised if it tests 140 as well. So Tata Steel and maybe JSW Steel also will add to the list. These are the top two bets if I want to add within the metal pack. Coming back to between Vedanta and Hindustan Copper, I would stick to Vedanta because that is one stock which has been constantly outperforming. In the near term, though, it did come under a bit of a selling pressure, but I believe it's time to again look at the stock, and on the upside, definitely stock can go 10 to 15% up from current levels. So definitely within the two, Hindustan Copper and Vedanta, I would stick to Vedanta and maybe look for a target of 350 to about 360 on the upside.
Okay, Shahina, the next question is from Bhaskaran. He's holding 60 shares of Dr. Lal Path Lab from levels of 2350, currently at a loss. Should he continue to hold on or sell at these levels, because the stock has already seen quite a bit of a downfall in 2022?
I would say you should switch from Dr. Lal Path Labs. The stock looks pretty weak from here, and it's had its run in the last couple of years, in the last year. So I would exit.
Aditya, Tripta had invested in Mazagon Dock, and she said that she made hefty profits in it, so she went ahead and booked profits. Now she's looking to re-enter the counter, and she wants to know at what levels. Do you think it's a good strategy now to re-enter Mazagon Dock, because given the fact that these names also have seen a tad bit of correction from those elevated levels?
No, I would not, honestly, at these levels. I believe some bit of profit booking is still left in the stock, given the fact that these stocks had outperformed massively in 2020. I believe they will come under a bit of a selling pressure, maybe some consolidation. Don't be in a hurry to buy these stocks. Let them settle down, maybe closer to about 750, 740 is somewhere I could look at reinitiating fresh longs in the stock, and all the way down to levels of 700 is what I would look at. On the upside, 850 is a major hurdle. So risk to reward is not in favor of going long, even at current levels.
The next question is from Vivek. He entered into Sangvi Movers from a price of 240 rupees. What he should do, his view is long term, so should he continue to hold on, or it's even an ad at these levels? What will be your advice?
In fact, add on to it as well at current levels. On the upside, stock can definitely test levels of 370 to about 400. It's a very good looking chart structure for the stock. Volumes have been pretty good, and on the upside, as I mentioned, 350, 360 is the immediate target. On the downside, 300 is a very good strong support zone, and if 370 is also taken on, maybe 400 is something which I'm looking at. So hold on to it, average even at current levels. I don't see any reason to book profits, or maybe for the stock to correct immediately.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Sangvi Movers. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
When our big boss in the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you asked, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better.
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now, and let's keep it going with all of your stock-related queries. In China, the next question is for you. Denny Matthew has bought Sun Pharma at a price of $8.89. He wants to know the outlook on the pharma sector, and is this a good entry level that he entered for Sun Pharma? What is your view on this?
Well, I think in the shorter term, very short term, you may see some bit of dip, but for the medium to longer term, things are looking better. So I would continue holding with a target of about 1,100.
Dikshita wants to know about Infosys, if it can be averaged at current level. She's not indicated her buy price, Aditya, but she wants to know whether it makes sense to average. Also, what are the near-term support levels that you're seeing for Infosys?
Be averaged out if somebody's looking to average it at current levels. On the downside, 1500 to 1450 is the immediate support. Cheryl, on the upside, I believe stock can test levels of 1700 to about 1800. Like I mentioned, I don't see too much of a correction in the IT names anymore. They've already gone through a troubled time. They're going through consolidation at the moment, and wouldn't be a bad idea to look at some of the IT names, cherry pick within the best ones. And Infosys is definitely one of those which stands out. And on the downside, as I mentioned, 1500 to 1450 is a good support. So averaging at current levels definitely makes sense.
Shahina, the next question is from D. Mazumdar. He entered into two counters. Firstly is Varroc Engineering, somewhere around 500 rupees is the entry level for him. And Andhra Sugars at a price of 177. Currently at a heavy loss in both of these counters. So what will be your advice? Continue to hold on or sell at these counters? His view is to stay invested for the next 3 to 4 months.
Varroc Engineering, he can hold currently and he can look to exit somewhere close to about 315 type of levels. And Andhra Sugars, there he can continue holding. I think there is some more upside from here.
All right. This next one that I have is coming in from Chandan Jain and another one on the metal space. But Aditya, he already has a JSPL at a price of 300 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should go ahead and book profit and re-enter on dips or continue to hold on to what he already has.
I believe continue to hold on to whatever he has. I don't see any reason to book out profits in JSPL still. Though stock has seen a very good up move in the near term, but I still think there is more room on the upside. So 650 to 700 is something that I'm looking at immediately. On the downside, 590 to about 580 is the immediate support zone. So maybe since he's sitting at a decent profit, continue to hold with a trailing stop loss of 580. And on the upside, definitely look at targets of 650. And maybe beyond that, 700 is something which is possible as well.
Shahina, Balakrishna is holding over 13,000 quantity in Union Bank from a price of 91 rupees 50 paise. So should he average at these counters, hold or exit? What will be your advice? Shahina, this question is for you.
Yeah, he should continue to hold it and he can look at targets of about 100 rupees if he would like to exit at higher levels, hold currently.
Okay, this one is from Harish Kumar and he wants to know whether he can enter Yes Bank and Tata Motors for a time period of about 2 years, but he wants a view on the technicals. What's your take on this one? Aditya, makes sense to invest right now in Yes Bank and Tata Motors for a period of 2 years?
I will start with Tata Motors. Definitely makes sense to hold on. In fact, buy Tata Motors at current levels. After a very good up move, stock went into a consolidation phase, and now I believe most of the consolidation and correction is done in the stock. Current levels definitely makes a very attractive buy on the upside. Stock can test levels of 450 to 550, and if somebody holds on to it maybe more than a year, I don't see a reason for it to test levels of 600 as well. On the downside, 350 is a very good strong support zone. So Tata Motors definitely checks the box for buying at current levels. As far as Yes Bank is concerned, too much volatility out here. Though stock has seen a very good up move on good volumes and then it witnessed a correction. If somebody is looking to buy into Yes Bank, they can do, but with a strict stop loss of about 17.5, 18 on the downside. And on the upside, maybe 25 to 30 is the other targets that one should look at. But still, as I mentioned, with the caution of a strict stop loss is something that I would recommend on Yes Bank because of the high volatility in the stock.
Aditya, let me take the next one from you. Bharat wants to know what could be the likely strategy for Sona Comstar in the medium term, because this particular counter from the auto index was one of the top losers for 2022. So as Samvadna Madhasan, you feel that the bottom is placed for Sona Comstar as well?
It is forming a bottom, to be honest. This was also one of the stocks that I was eyeing closely. It has been under a sharp correction, and now it's trying to form a base closer to about 400, 390 odd levels. If somebody is looking to buy the stock, maybe these are good levels to start nibbling into Sona Comstar. On the upside, there is a massive upside. The risk to reward is definitely in favor of going long. On the downside, those stock can again see levels of 410 to 400. So you have to be a little nimble-footed and not buy all at one go. On dips, maybe average it out more. On the upside, stock can easily test levels of 550 to 570 in the near term to about medium term.
All right, and with that, let's kickstart with the rapid fire then. And Shahina, coming first to you. Manohar wants to know about Piramal Pharma. He already holds 100 shares at the price of 129 rupees per share. For the long term, makes sense to stay put with this one?
For the long term, I think there are better pharma stocks he can exit.
Okay, Shahina, Ankit is holding Aditya Birla AMC since IPO, currently at a loss of over 34%. What will be your advice?
Hold at current levels.
Okay, Aditya, Satya wants to know about Tata Consumer. His buy price is 800 rupees per share. He wants to know whether they should hold, average, and at what price.
No, don't average. Stock is a little weak and correct all the way down to 740, 730. Maybe that is the level he should look to average. If he's looking to exit, maybe exit at current level, then buy again closer to about 740, 730.
Okay, Shahina Chandrasekhar is holding BHEL from price levels of 56. He wants to know the longer term view on this one.
Hold. He can see strong levels from here. I would say he can see levels of about 95 from here, so definitely hold.
Okay, KR Balan wants to know, makes sense to buy Jubilant FoodWorks for the short to medium term currently. What's your take on this one, Aditya?
No, not at current levels. There is a bit more correction that I see on the stock, closer to about 480, 470 is where you can look to buy Jubilant FoodWorks.
Okay, Aditya Sudha wants to enter IDFC First Bank and NCC. Any entry levels that you can help her with?
IDFC First, definitely at current levels, one can buy at these levels with the stop loss at 56 on the downside. Targets could be 67 to about 72. As far as NCC is concerned, stock is already up a decent on good volumes today. Even at current levels, if somebody has a medium to long term time horizon, they can buy, look for a target of 100, 120 on the upside.
Okay, Vishal wants a long term view on Nykaa. What's your take on this one, Shahina? If he's already invested, what should he do?
I would say exit.
Okay, Aditya, the next one is from Thomas V. George bought Bata from a levels of 1500. What will be your advice?
Stock has underwent a decent correction, but at these levels, maybe it makes sense to hold on to it with the stop loss closer to his buying price, and on the upside, 2000 is something that I'm eyeing. So hold on.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as the query segment. Thank you so much, Shahina, as well as Aditya, for joining us on the show, for giving us your take on the auto sector, as well as resolving viewer queries. And viewers, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. It's a goodbye from Shrishti, myself, and the team that put the show together. But stay tuned, Markets at Noon coming up next with Anisha and Pankaj.
With each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees.
First trading day of this particular year. Among lackluster global cues, Indian markets are looking decent. Most sectors are trading with marginal positive bias. However, metals is outshining based on an upgrade.
Crude and metal prices rebound as China reopens. The market expects a major demand boost from the biggest consumer. Brent hovers near $85 per barrel. Metal stocks shine, especially after major upgrade coming in from Jefferies.
Auto sales continue to pour in thick and fast, where two-wheeler sales are in slow lane as expected. Bajaj Auto December auto dispatches miss estimates and fall on a year-on-year basis. Ashok Leyland from the CV side does much better than what the street was anticipating.
MCX sulks in trade, sees the biggest single-day decline since March after ICICI Securities says extension of existing software contract remains an overhang. The renewed contract is longer than the first extension and comes at a higher cost incidence.
Manufacturing seems to be the big bet for 2023. Both Ravi Dharmashri, Porinju Veliath remain bullish on this particular theme. They believe that they'll continue to outperform in absolute terms. Dharmashri says Mahindra Group and HDFC Bank on radar, while Porinju is betting big on Tatacom and BEML.
Investors are now looking more closely at LIC, says DIPAM secretary in an exclusive chat with ET Now. He adds that IDBI stake sale will go through in FY24. Also clarifies that BPCL divestment is still not off the table and will be revisited once the market stabilizes. Hello and welcome. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now. I am Anisha Jain. With me is Pankaj Podar. It's the first trading session of 2023, and the good news is that the market have taken it well. They've started on a bit of a green tone, and in fact we are now sitting close to the highest point of the trading session. Nifty comfortably close to that 18,200 mark, a good 250-point rally for the Sensex, and quite a bit of outperformance coming in today from the broader markets, with the market breadth being positive and Nifty Bank also doing its bit. But Pankaj, have to say the shine today is clearly in the metal space.
Absolutely. It's the metal pack which are among the top gainers, and we'll focus more on that as we go through the show. But 180 points higher, 75 points higher, pull up the top Nifty gainers, and you'll find, as Anisha was saying, that there is a lot of action as far as the metal pack goes. And I think that's the space which also is buzzing with decent amount of volumes. On the other hand, slight bit of auto names, the likes of Bajaj Auto, some of the others are looking in slightly lackluster, but again, they are responding to the news that they have as far as auto sales is concerned. Let's go across now to our first guest on the show, Sarita Pansari, research and technical analyst at Kantilal Chagannath Securities with us. Sarita, Happy New Year to you and your team. What is your call as far as Nifty goes, considering last 3-4 days we've constantly beaten the global markets?
Good afternoon, Pankaj. Good afternoon, Anisha. A very happy new year to you and all our viewers. A trend line coming from June 22 was broken by Nifty on 23rd December, which gave us a low of 17,770. But after that, only the very next trading session, it made a bullish engulf and it came again inside below the trend line. So now, now again it is respecting the trend line, it is inside the trend line. So now we are waiting for a close of 18,260. When we'll get a close of 18,260, our targets will be, second target will be 18,500 and then 18,800. Else then we have to see which side the Nifty is breaking. Because we don't know at present it is buy on dips or sell on bounce.
So the market texture is still not very clear whether it is sell on bounce or buy on dips. We wait, buy and see. But Sarita, tell us in terms of the stock specific recommendations, what are those? I'm guessing you have a couple of picks coming in from the metals pack given the positivity there this morning.
Yeah. Today only metal has broken. It's 6835 was its all-time high. Today it has broken, and by the end of session we'll get the closing. We will understand the closing is above that. So now I have picked up Nalco. The reason for picking up Nalco is past 9 months we have seen from 133 levels, it has came down 50% to 67. And then for some for some weeks, it was consolidating in 10 points, in between 10 points from 67 to 80. But now I think due to the metal, what we are seeing, the bullish trend in metal, so I have picked up this counter. For CMP is 82 and the targets will be 86, 88 and 90 with a stop loss of 77.
All right, so these were your top picks. You spoke about the metal index. There is also PNB. Last week you were pretty bullish on the banking names as well. Any call on the banking side?
Yeah. For PNB, the CMP, which is now 57, my targets are 60 and 62 with a stop loss of 54.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Sarita, today. Appreciate your time. But let's move on and get you one of the stock-specific, news flow. MCX is actually down in trade today, down about 5%. And the reason is that the company has extended its tie-up with 63 Moons for another 6 months. Now, why is this an overhang? The reason is that this, puts up the uncertainty regarding the long-term software of the company, because they have been talking about how their tie-up with TCS is there and they're looking at transitioning into their own software, but it seems to be getting delayed a tad bit, and that's why the worry that the market has. In fact, my colleague Sharad is joining us with the entire context and what brokerages are making of this move.
Well, yes, selling pressure coming in from MCX, and even the volumes are coming at almost 8 times its 20-day average. Now, the news coming in is that the company MCX has extended its support services being rendered by its existing vendor 63 Moons Technology, and this extension is coming in for the next 6 months. Now, looking at the stock itself, the stock is up 27% from September lows, but if you see from the December highs, the stock is down by more than 10%. Now, the brokerage stake we see from ICICI Securities, they have downgraded the stock to add from buy, and even the target price has fallen from 1795 rupees share to almost 1669 rupees per share. Now, they have stated that the MCX contract extension is disappointing because of a longer tenure coming in. Earlier it was 3 months, now it is 6 months, and this would actually impact on the cost incidence, and of course the higher cost incidence is expected for FY23 and FY24. And for the third quarter itself, sequentially we can see the EBITDA is expected to come in lower by 10% because of this higher software expense. Now, apart from this, the long-term triggers for the stock still remains strong. Of course, it's a monopolistic play in this market, and apart from this, there's a strong continued traction coming in the options, and also there's an expectation of cost reduction coming in from eventual software migration coming to the new platform. But looking at the valuations, they're subjected to correct. Now, for FY23, it's expected to come in at around 34 times, and for FY24, the valuations are expected to come in almost 31 times its P ratio.
Thanks so much for that, Sharad. MCX is down about 3 to 4%. Metal stocks are buzzing today. There is an upgrade which is coming from Jefferies. Let's go across to Winnie. She's standing by with all the details.
Let's talk about why are they, seeing this couple of